everybody. Welcome to another episode of Bonus Sesh.
I'm Casey Wilson.
Danielle Schneider here.
We're sitting here with a gorgeous guest.
Sure are.
My office mate, because we are taping from my office, and I share an office with, three other gorgeous women.
Very powerful women.
Yeah. Ms. June Diane Rayfield, Ms. Jessie Klein, and Ms. Jessica Chaffin.
Yes.
Jessica Chaffin, welcome.
I think it's very generous of you to call me sharing the office.
Yeah, I know you pay a lot, but I don't know that you're here.
I have to be honest with you. I feel like I'm running a charitable organization for powerful women. If any of these women get a terrific project going
do you get a cut?
No, but I would feel so good. I've actually, since Jessie has joined the coven, I feel so much better I feel great that I'm subsidizing her time in an office.
It's very generous of you because, you don't come ever. And you just walked in and saw Jessie Klein's desk. That's now her desk, basically. And you were like, oh, I need to get her a nice chair. We were like, no, you don't need to spend any more money. You're very generous.
Don't need to do anything for anybody else.
Ever?
I want to say something about you, and I want you to, I've always wanted to ask this
Luann.
Yeah. I want to know if this is true or false, or am I off the mark about you? I do
not have a trust fund. Was that the question?
No, that's a question.
I'm sure it's in there.
It's in there. Yeah, that was next. I do have a question because I see my manager, Christy Smith, has this quality too, and it is my favorite quality in a person, and I hope I have it, which is just a person of great excess, a person who's very generous. You just seem very fun. You're open to trying things. You'll throw money at something. Like you're just a fun gal you have a lot of knowledge about a lot of different things. You're always trying a different latest thing. I'm trying to describe what I mean. I just mean like you have this nice attitude, which is like, if I give it away, it'll come back to me.
Oh,
you're not stingy with your time, with your money, or with your level with your opinions, or with your, with like making others comfortable as well as yourself comfortable.
All of these things sound like, I wish my therapist was here because she would be like, this is what I'm saying. You don't do, like, these all sound like codependent qualities.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. But I think that, well, first of all, actually, I don't think I ever think about what's going to come back to me.
No, and I don't mean it's calculated. I just think you have a really great outlook.
I just mean, well, that first of all is like the loveliest. That's so nice to think that I don't know if I see myself that way. So that is so nice to hear that people see me as a warm, generous presence.
You are.
Because also, as we know, I have quite an acid tongue on occasion. But
see, that's my favorite quality in humans.
Is when they can do both.
Yes. If I could come back as anyone, it would be Sue Mengers, that manager who just laid in bed in a caftan and gossiped with people.
Do you know that my dream is to play Sue Mengers in a movie, in a biopic?
What?
This is my
what
dream.
I'm talking about. It's that type of person who's like, come into my bed, Lily, and let's just chat.
But it's also my dream to be like wearing like a sack at the Golden Globes in 1983, like walking in front of Bob De Niro, like slouching through and being like, call me Monday, we're not agreeing to anything. Like, that's like all I want to do is
that's
like,
who you are.
Like, I want to slouch through and be like, please don't talk to Bob. You want to talk to something with Bob? You talk to me first. Thank you. We're moving forward here. Like, I just want to, like, I want to just keep cutting through, like that's my dream is to have that calm.
You have
You're
basically there. Like,
I should have been an agent or a manager. I would have been an excellent agent.
Have you guys ever wanted to be
manager.
agent or managers? Since we're on the other side of the business.
There's a lot of things that my very first job I ever had being a PA on a movie, on the second day, the woman that was the head of, I feel like she was the head of like the set decorator, but it was a period piece. So it was like, she was a pro.
She was good.
Yeah. She was like being producing the movie.
For people that don't understand, it's like being the costume designer for the furniture. So because it was like a period piece, but the guy who was the production designer was a genius. David Brisbane was his name. He did Drugstore Cowboy 100,000 years ago, but he just was a very talented guy. Impossible to please, but in a way that I found very, very charming. I was like, oh, that's so funny that
I'm sure I would have found
that you don't think I did that well enough. You know what I mean? It's like, I know I did it well enough. You just can't say yes to anything. But she was like, on the second day, she was like, if you stay in this business, you should be a producer. And I had this secret dream of wanting to be a performer. And I always felt sad when people spoke ill of the actors. Like, it always bothered me whenever people speak ill of actors, though now I've worked with enough of them.
You're like, they deserve every fucking shot they get.
Well, I don't consider myself an actor.
Really? What do you consider yourself?
I'm just an entertainer. I'm an entertainer.
An entertainer.
I am the entertainer.
So are you two, by the way. Maybe you consider, you guys actually came from an acting background, so maybe you consider yourselves actors.
It's funny. You now that I hear you say entertainer, I want to consider myself that.
I think we're all entertainers.
It's so much, it's so elevated beyond acting.
It's also like a hooker is an entertainer, and a hostess is an entertainer, and a clown's an entertainer.
But like, it's like it's in the Bette Midler like vibe. Yeah. Like, I'm an entertainer. Like, you do it all.
You're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. I'm a gypsy.
Yeah. But it is. I think it has to do with like, I don't know. I've never really talked about this much with anybody, but that feeling like when you get on stage, like, isn't that the greatest feeling when you do a live show and you're like, it's the closest feeling to
happiness?
Yeah. No, but really, like, why you ever, because this business is not what you think it's going to be. You think you get into the business because you're like, you want to entertain people, whether it's like you do little when you were
crying.
Honestly, I might tear up thinking about this, but when you're a kid, you get a rush from either whatever, acting or imitating a commercial or doing impressions or whatever your thing is. And then you have that taste. And like, we all got that taste at the UCB, if not at other places too, but that was like hooked us. You know, we were all like junkies on the same block, basically. Yeah. And then to do the business of it is like, it's a lot of hard work to get yourself back to the place where you get to do the stuff. And that's why podcasting is so awesome, because like you get to feel like you get to do your stuff your way kind of thing. But that's the feeling that I find most addictive, is that feeling of being on stage and seeing the audience enjoy themselves. And you're like, oh, we're all having a great time. That kind of somehow.
By my hand.
Yeah. Well,
no, I'm kidding.
Or maybe by the person I'm in an improv group with. Maybe someone else is having a great moment and you're like, oh, this is so fun. We're all part of this thing
100%.
That's only happening right now.
Yeah.
There's an energy to it that is but it's hard to get back to that feeling.
Yeah, you said it really well just now. Like, it takes a lot of hard work and diligence and
therapy
and everything to get back to the place where you can play and have fun.
And not even hard work and just like knocks. You're taking so many knocks to get to what I think is like the 2% of your year that you're getting to do what you love. And the reason you're even out here. Yeah. Like, the reason we live in this godforsaken city.
But this is why, like, the Bitch Sesh live shows, for instance, are pure joy. Because also your audience is so participating in that dynamic with you. Like, they're bringing their best to you. They're so excited for what you're going to give to them that they're giving something to you too. It's wonderful.
Part of the show.
They are performing with us.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. Yeah. Like, what a great thing. Like, you're creating, it's sort of like, I don't know. It's sort of kind of like, I don't want to say ritual, because that's like a weird word.
No, but I think you're right. People don't go to church and synagogue as much as, you know, there's nothing sacred, I feel, especially in LA, like going on. Yeah. Unless maybe you go to Shabbat or something. I just don't find there's a lot. And I do think you're right that performing is kind of the last bastion of that in some ways. Yeah. At least in my life.
Especially because it's participatory with you know what I mean? It's not just us performing at people. It does feel like a conversation we're having, a fun, spirited.
About all our friends.
Yes, all of our friends, the housewives.
Well, but also like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's also why, I don't know, I probably have a very unhealthy relationship with celebrity gossip, but I love, like, I guess I do feel like we're all in high school with those people, and I'm like, that we're at the cafeteria table and we're like, did you see? Did you or did you not see what so-and-so like whipped out today?
But I think what's been so funny is I've always found that to be like my secret shame, and it's like, oh no, so many people, if not everyone, is kind of loving that stuff too.
It's sort of, I guess it's kind of like playing with dolls.
I believe Michelle Obama watches The Housewives. I believe
she does.
Yeah.
Did anyone else?
Confirmed.
Yeah. Has it really?
100%.
Wow.
She
do
loves
you think
Atlanta.
we could get her on Bitch Sesh?
Wow.
What a
That's
goal.
been confirmed.
Didn't you think Barack's bouquet was a little bit small that he sent her on her birthday the other day?
I thought they looked kind of wilted.
That's such a Jessica Chaffin
It didn't look great to me. There were like some stargazers in there. Don't ever send me a stargazer.
I saw some wilted. It just felt.
And he didn't write Love Barack. He wrote something that just said he signed it Barack. Like it was, maybe he's just in the habit from answering all that mail at the White House.
I would have loved to just see B. Just something a little more like.
But doesn't Beyonce, hasn't she claimed the B?
Maybe she's got the B.
Guys, what is happening? I don't know.
Well, I guess,
I feel lost on this Friday morning. That was such a nice compliment. I feel like I'm going to be depressed for the rest of the week.
Oh, that's not what it meant to do.
No, I know. Of course it wasn't. That's just the effect it has.
I love, you are killing me. That I feel the same. Like whenever I have a good therapy session, I was like, well, I guess the rest of the day is going to be suicidal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like,
nowhere to go from here.
Yeah, nowhere to go from here.
It really does make me feel very happy to know that people have fond thoughts about me. That's very nice.
Of course.
Because it is, I don't know why. My mother was this way too. I do get a real, I don't know. It's a pleasure to do things for people.
Well, you can tell that though. You know what I'm saying? I think
it's genuine. I'm not doing it to be liked.
No, and it never feels like,
obviously I'm saying all that other shit
I don't think, I think you enjoyed making people feel good. That's a really good feeling. In fact, I was listening to Oprah's Super Soul Sunday.
You have said that every single one of our bonus sessions.
I know.
Did you listen to the Phil Jackson one?
Not yet.
Yeah, it's good.
But what you put out into the universe, that's what you're getting back. And it's not like you're putting it out to try and get something back.
You know, it's interesting because I'm 1,000,000 years old and I was looking on Instagram last night, drunk off my ass. And
what?
Yes.
And I'm jealous. Isn't that fun going down a wormhole?
Well, I never really knew, and I'm being completely honest. Like I'd seen a few times that people are writing me, but I don't even know how to find that place where people are just like writing directly at you and you can like allow or deny.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
When I find my way in, it's only because I've had a notification, but I can never get back there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So hard.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing like about, I would say hundreds and hundreds of people have just written like questions or screenshots, just really funny stuff about Bitch Sesh. And at first I'll admit, I was like, oh my God, I've just like not, first I was like, oh fuck, do I have to write these people back? And then I was like, oh my God, I haven't seen them for a while. And then I started writing people back and I was having such a blast. And then some people were starting to write me back. And I'm like, is this sad that I'm like taking pleasure from this? But then I was like, honestly, no.
It's everything.
They're being so generous to even write and say, because I don't have the kind of fans that is like a guy who's like sending me a dick pic. Like these are nice, normal gals and guys.
The greatest thing.
Who are reaching out and saying that means something to me. And I'm writing back like, that means a lot that you wrote me.
Yeah. And that I think is in the same vein of the thing we were talking about with the live shows, because I know with Rana and Bev, like the mail that we would get from people, especially when we would do advice, or when we do advice, whatever, that it would just be like, wow, first of all, what a compliment. These people think we're real people. That would be like the ego stroke would be, oh, we're doing this well enough that people think we're living human beings. Because I'm not sure we're not either, but you know what I mean?
I'm not sure you're not, Rana.
I was sort of more becoming, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not. Hopefully yes. I don't know which. More and more I'm more comfortable with the idea of like, oh yeah, I'm just going to cut all my hair off and tell everybody what to do. But the idea that people will share the most intimate things with you, or they will ask you something, it's a lovely human connection moment. And it makes you think that whatever you're doing, whatever the show is giving to people, is making them feel that connection with the thing. And your show does that. And I think I've been the coolest part about it.
Yes. And I've been there and I always feel bad when people write, like, I never do this. It's
you
like,
can't answer everyone.
You know what?
Though. People
that's
have
nice.
To know that.
Of course. Yeah. But like when people are like, I never do this, I'm like, I don't care if you do. It's really sweet that you're reaching out, you know?
Yeah.
And I felt like that. When I saw Lady Bird, I wrote this like wildly long email to Laurie Metcalf, and she wrote me back such a beautiful email.
Did she?
Yeah, so you've been on the other side of that, where you're like, it's so sweet that they took the time to write me back.
Yeah, and that you could like move a person. You know, that someone could be moved to say something to you. Yeah. And then sometimes you're like, don't ask me again. I told you cashmere socks. When people are like, I only have $40 and I need to get someone a present. I already told you cashmere
to get
socks.
that Brookstone sleep mask. Go into the annals of our podcast.
You're going to have to do, it's like, you're also going to have to scroll up. You can't just write to me.
One day, I'm going to walk in here and you guys are just going to be on a beautiful bearskin rug in huge caftans, like eating bonbons, just living the high life.
Oh, I felt like Casey and I had a breakthrough moment this weekend where, because our communication is intermittent, of course, and we had a breakthrough moment where I sent her the name of my massage therapist, and then she unprompted sent me the name of her manicure pedicurist. And I was like, see, this is what we need more of in our relationship. Like, don't be shy about telling me that you got somebody that can come to my house and do my nails. Because I always feel like a little bit, well, I admitted to you how much I was paying somebody to do my nails, and she was, of course, horrified. But the other thing you don't know is that my manicure pedicurist has been unwell. And I normally I would go see her in the salon, but I knew if I paid her a little bit more to come to my house that she would have a little more money.
Well, that's fair. See, this is what I'm talking about with you.
But I'll have no money left. But what does it matter?
But who cares?
This brings me back to what I said, is you live a life of excess that is geared towards others. I'm not saying excess sounds like a negative quality, but Cool Up the Lysac has this quality, women that are just
such a lovely human.
Fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're not afraid to have a shot, to just say it, to just put themselves fucking out there.
Oh, I can't wait till we have all of our own show together and rip each other to shreds.
We'll turn.
This is how each of the housewives see each other. See themselves. Yeah. Like Ramona would be like, I brought a whole case of Pinot Grigio. You know what I mean? You're like, or Pinot Gris, whatever she calls it. And you're like, well, no one wanted it. But did you think about if anybody wanted to drink Pinot Gris? It's like, but she sees herself, I'm sure, as an incredibly magnanimous character.
She is angling for a cooking show, no? Because if you are watching her Instagram stories at the moment, you will see that it is constantly her cooking.
Do you cook at all now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you enjoy it?
Sometimes,
because you've never been known as an eater.
No, I can eat.
No, but you're not an eater of things that people. You're not an eater of food. She's not an eater of food. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think I eat?
I think you live on like astronaut ice cream, bars, and like Cheeto dust. That's what I think you live on.
You're not totally wrong.
And a little candy.
You've always been known to eat like a second grader.
Yeah, no. John Ross Bowie used to always say you're eating like you're at like a 5-year-old's birthday party constantly. It's all just like circus peanuts.
Great. My God, a Dunkin' Hines cake. Why not?
I'm eating better in the last few years since I had a child, where you have to like actually look for those things.
Is that one of those things when you're a parent and you pretend, like where you're like, I pretend I'm a person that eats healthy food, so she'll think that that's what people are supposed to do?
I don't even go that far. Like I will have she'll be eating her vegetables and I'll have a green drink at the table because I can't really eat my vegetables. And I'll be like, Mommy's drinking her vegetables.
Wow. Because I can't really eat my vegetables.
Yeah, but I want her to see.
Does it make you gag?
No, I like I'm drinking one now.
But I mean to chew a vegetable. The idea of having to eat your vegetables.
Some vegetables, not all, but yes.
Were they forced on you?
As a kid, I can't remember, but
I've met your parents and I'm gonna go with yes. Like just that there was something fucked up going on around vegetables with your mother. I don't know what it was, but you know what I mean? That she just like wouldn't wait a second for an answer. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting to them.
Yeah,
like it's just some anxiety around vegetables that she was like, just get it done so we can move on to something else.
Now, Jess, while we have you, I want to segue to a topic that has been in the news.
Okay.
Now, this
is it Bobby Zarin's funeral?
Of course it is.
Of course.
I'm dying to talk about Bobby Zarin's funeral. Is it really Bobby Zarin's funeral? I want to say Bobby might be, now talking about people that are generous of spirit. And I mean, look, I don't know the truth of Bobby Zarin, but I always loved Bobby on The Housewives.
Me too.
I thought he was warm. I mean, do I think he let Jill was a runaway train and he let her do whatever she wanted to do, which was not great. But I loved, I think, how 80s he was, how old school 80s. I have a soft spot for Jewish men that are not handsy, but warm with their touch.
Yeah.
And that they kind of, when they see you, they'll give you like a little squeeze on the shoulder, a little squeeze on the neck. It's something very kind of Jewish and European and like doesn't really happen that much anymore.
Yeah, it's not that cold, like, I'm married to her and I can't touch you vibe.
But it was just like someone you always knew you'd get a hug from.
Someone who's always like going to call you a bubby or something. Like, hi, a bubby. You know what I mean? Like he is very old school with like his like shaded glasses and his like pinky ring.
And he really did love Jill.
He did.
Yeah. Wow.
And he loved Allie.
And he loved fabric.
As much as a person... Zarin Fabrics.
He was there for Allie. He paid for the fat camps.
He took that on.
Yeah. He really
took
did.
that on.
So what do you think that funeral was? Like, what are your thoughts on what you've seen in the Daily Mail and Bethany and...
I've only seen the one piece in the Daily Mail.
One piece of journalism.
I've only seen the one think piece in the Daily Mail. How they haven't hired me as a commentator on their commentating yet, I don't know.
I want a gun for a job. How quick are they turning around this stuff? Do you think three seconds?
They don't even spell check it.
Seconds.
Which I respect the fuck out of.
It's funny.
I know what you're talking about.
I used to also.
It's
they're
not Nicole
like
Kidman. I know. I'm good.
They don't. They're like, you know what we mean. We just have to get out first. They're all about getting to the story first, and they also don't care if the story is the story.
And then they bullet point all the stories, so you don't even have to read the story, because then when you go down to read the story, it's just the bullet points.
I skip the bullet points.
Skip the bullet points. I want to read it.
Me too.
Take
I want to experience it. I want to experience it. And it's always interesting to me.
I like make my eyes glossy.
I do the exact same thing. I won't even look at the bullet points.
You two are the real audience.
Because I want to slip into it for a second.
Yeah. When I've got time, when you click on that and there's fresh stories, there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah.
I do think it's my favorite time of the day.
Yeah. No question. But when I'm like, oh, I know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to check out the Daily Mail. like that. It's like 9:30. You know what I mean? You're sort of like
AM or PM?
Both. Well, I'll read some regular news and then I go straight there in the morning.
I don't even go to the reg sometimes.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But I want to say a couple things. We know I'm not a Bethany fan. And that because I'm sort of haunted by... It's funny. I guess maybe I have that thing with her where I'm like, are there parts of me that are like her? You know what I mean? Like that thing where you're like, oh, I wish that woman would stop talking. And you're like, so you can talk. You know what I mean? Like whatever that, like, and it's like, yes. So I can say something interesting instead of, whatever that is that she's making so much noise and nothing funny's coming out. Like that's what drives me crazy. And then also just like her whole, like, I'm going to tell everyone what's going on. But man, I don't know. There's something, I don't think Bethany's kind, actually. And I think
100%.
And I think that all of her generosity is to show how kind she is.
Including
and that
Puerto
bothers
Rico
me.
relief.
What's that?
Including Puerto Rico relief efforts.
Yeah. I'm happy those people got stuff because they needed it. But it was like, I don't even know what is this? Is this just if you're telling me you're taking pictures so that you can... I guess you're raising awareness. I don't have that deep of a relationship with the idea of social media of there's always something a bit disingenuous about that stuff to me. But okay, if we're raising awareness and we're giving stuff to people, I have to hand it to her. And I was impressed with that. Do I feel like she spent half a day picking out her outfits for what she was going to wear? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I can't fault a person.
She does a lot of taking photos of herself crying and posting them in videos because I think she's even shocked that emotion has come. She's caught off guard.
And she's like, I gotta capture this.
Yes, she's like, I gotta put this out there. Like, what's happening to me?
But for the kind of Jackie O moment that she was trying to have at Bobby Zarin's, which by the way, one of my favorite things was that because the photographers will get you from every angle, and unfortunately, someone's doing construction on the building next door. So there was that New York scaffolding with the is that in your notes? With the New York scaffolding with like the post-no bills and the plywood.
Yes.
So it was like even when they were trying to have this moment of like which Jill obviously thought she was having a Jackie O moment, which I gotta hand it to Jill. She had two pair of shades. One was like an 80s visor that I was not a fan of, and then like a mod frise-on visor, and then she had some kind of a giant tortoise sepia tone round like that Old Navy woman glasses, and they looked good.
Now,
But the pictures weren't great. But I hated Bethany's outfit, was what I was trying to say. She wore a bare leg and a shoe boot. And then which I thought was just like,
with a hat.
With a huge hat.
It was an Hermes hat that did not suit her glasses.
And some woman bitch slapped me on Twitter for being like, how dare you compare Bobby Zarin's funeral to JFK? She's like, that's a bridge too far. And like, shame on you.
But you're not the one who made the comparison. They were all trying to draw the comparison.
Right? And it was
themselves.
almost like Bethany was also trying to have her Jackie moment.
You know what my favorite moment was?
They were making it a moment. They were making it a media moment. We didn't make it a media moment, but we're responding.
You know who the real genius was in that whole gaggle? Marla Maples showed up in a lavender coat and light brown boots as if to say, I just stopped off on a plane from Palm Beach and I came straight from the airport. She came in lavender.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Or as if to say, I celebrate Bobby's life.
Or as if to say everyone else is going to be wearing black and I want to stick out.
Oh,
and
no
get the
question.
And get the photographs to kind of like come to me.
Dating Donnie Deutsch apparently now.
I know, that feels right.
Yeah.
That felt like, that feels all
Well, I
in
guess
the
he
same.
couldn't get a date with Christy Brinkley. So
Yeah. It all feels in the same world.
Yeah. Let's not forget Marla Maples is the one who released Trump's tax return. Remember when they had that one? Like that she was like, well, it was my tax return too.
Oof.
Yeah.
I hope she's getting... Anyway.
She's walking a thin line.
Yeah, because there's that Tiffany. There's that Tiff Trump.
Oh, boy.
Tiff Trump.
I actually, like,
I don't think
I'm
I can
afraid
talk
to
about
touch
Tiff.
it. Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Yeah. Who else came? Kelly Ben-Simone still looking pretty good, wearing a flat.
I'm surprised she wasn't in her running shorts.
Yeah.
Running through the streets of New York.
Or her
there.
hunter boots from the fight she had with Bethany. Remember she wore that green mini dress and the hot pink hunter boots?
Oh, God. Kelly
She has a great figure and she has very straightforward taste, but I think she's got good style.
Disagree.
But she has a terrible boob job. Terrible boob job.
Speaking of terrible taste, who do you think is the housewife with the worst taste? Besides the obvious offenders. Kyle Richards?
Well, I think what you mean is people that think they have taste that have bad taste.
Exactly.
Is that right?
We're not talking about like Alexis Bellino here. You know what I mean? Like,
I keep thinking that means something, but it means get Chaffin to wrap it up is what it means. Alexis Bellino had awful taste, but it was a pleasure to watch her perform herself.
but she didn't think that she thought she had good taste for her. But I'm talking about someone who thinks that they have.
Shannon has
classy
bad taste, real bad taste.
Oof,
but
yeah.
Kyle has awful taste. Yeah.
Awful.
Well, because
Shannon, I think, has better taste than Kyle.
Yeah,
Shannon
or at
will
least
be understated.
Yeah, or she doesn't think. Well, Shannon's trying to do more of a like waspy look, but Kyle thinks that she is like a fashion influencer and everything. And Kyle also suffers, unfortunately, from that thing that no matter what she puts on her body, it looks cheap. Everything looks cheap because she wears shoes that are too high, or she's a short person that doesn't want to be short. Who wants to be short? I don't want to be short. But what I do know is I can't wear like 20-inch heels and then struggle up the street. And, like she looks like a gymnast when they dress them up for an award ceremony.
I hear that.
Yeah.
They're just like little tanks. And they're like, and there's only a few things you can wear when you look like that.
Right.
God, please nobody Google any pictures of me
Have you ever seen
dressed
Julia
up.
Roberts walk in heels? It is linebacker.
I bet I could imitate it.
Down a red
I bet
carpet.
I can imitate it for you right now.
Yeah, very
unfortunately,
wide
this is not
stance.
a visual medium. But she has that. Did I tell you guys this? It must have that I watched Eat, Pray, Love on a plane finally.
No. What did you come to think of that?
I finally. I have been avoiding watching it for however long.
I can't believe
been
it's
out,
still on a
decade.
plane.
I know.
It's on every plane all the time. And
hoping that you'll take trips to these locations.
Well, they know a lot of women are like sadly still trying to find their Eat, Pray, Love.
Yeah, and it is travel porn for sure. But I'd never watched it, and it was such a cultural like signpost.
I couldn't get past Italy.
No one could blame you. How you
I couldn't get past praying.
I was gonna say, how'd you get past James Franco to begin with? So I finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this because I have made many references to it in my life. Because it's one of those things. There are things in this life that you can be like, I get it.
Yeah, you don't.
I
need
don't
to know.
need to watch Eat, Pray, Love, but then I did over the summer. And first of all, I was laughing out loud on the plane, which I haven't done that since, I don't know, Monsters University. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what, like something where you're like, it's like, what? Like I was like literally like wishing the person next to me was watching it and laughing. But the thing that I learned from watching that movie is that Julia Roberts is a horrible person.
What?
I watched her act, let's call it, in that movie. And I was like, oh, you're a fucking terrible person. Like, I just felt I could feel it coming off of her.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? Like because she's so charmed by herself.
I have to say, Jessica, I've always felt that about her.
Yeah, you can feel it. You're like, oh, you're a terrible person.
It jumps off her.
Even at the beginning of her career or just now?
Yes, because then I watched My Best Friend's Wedding, which I had never seen either.
Not as much in Mystic Pizza and not as much in Steel Magnolias.
But definitely in My Best Friend's Wedding.
100%.
I rewatched that.
Try Stepmom. You'll be like, this
no,
bitch.
thank you. I wouldn't dare.
This bitch is watching her kids?
It's amazing how much of her oeuvre I have avoided.
In My Best Friend's Wedding, which I saw 100 years ago and loved. And then it was on again recently. And I
watched it over Christmas.
Watched it.
Never had seen it.
And I was like, oh, she's a horrible person. Like, I'm not rooting for this woman at all.
The other thing she does is that she is, she's like a choreographer. She's one of those people, like every move on her face is choreographed. Like you can tell she maps out the scenes and she's like, okay, yeah. I mean, it is pretty remarkable. Like she knows where the camera is at all times and she knows how her face and the camera like dance together.
I think that she always thinks of herself like in that scene from Notting Hill as though the soundtrack behind her is always "I know sunshine when she's gone." Like she just thinks she's so charming.
I'm just a girl
she's
standing in front of a boy asking him to love her.
Wow. I mean, Jessica, this has been, it doesn't feel like we've nearly covered enough ground.
We need you again, always back. You are a favorite of ours and a favorite of fans. And
I love when a lot of the fans don't like me, but it's okay. I respect it.
What do you mean?
I respect there'll be a few that you're like, oh, we didn't know that. Don't tell us. We'll never have you back again. There's always a few that pop up that are like, I wish she would just.
But there are people that say that about it. I get the same. I mean, that's in every podcast you'll ever do.
I've gotten commentary much like I'm describing Julia Roberts right now. It's like she thinks
Casey was a terrible person.
Yeah, I mean, we get
Casey Casp.
We get people don't like everybody, including us all the time. So we mostly just ignore it.
Can I just say though, I did run into your husband a couple weeks, maybe a week or so ago.
Did you?
And he is just something else. He is really a delightful. Talk about having a great presence. Aww. He's a nice man.
I think,
and he's nice to look at.
I think so.
And he puts himself together great, and it
I
feels
always feel
effortless.
like when the way he looks at me, like if I could get like in Face Off, like get in his body and look at me through his eyeballs, he would see like a fat homeless woman galumphing toward him.
Well, that's how I feel about everything in the world. That people are like, watch out, beware, this troll is like. I feel like every morning I crawl out of the sewer, eat a little garbage, and then like crawl back in and watch TV.
I'm laughing because it doesn't sound like these are great self-images, but I actually think we also both have some confidence.
You both have lots of confidence.
Maybe a dash.
You guys are doing just fine.
So much, Jessica.
You guys,
Chaffin.
thanks for having me. I don't know. I don't know anything.
This was so fun.
Stuff.
Yeah, always.
Tell everyone where we can find you online.
Oh gosh, I don't even know. I guess on the internet. If you look for me, I'll be there.
You'll appear.
Jessica Chaffin.
Jess Chaffin, Jessica Chaffin, something like that. If they're interested, they'll find it. Right?
The challenge.
Wow.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to challenge
hard to get.
I'm not like serving a lot of content to people.
I got it. Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, but I'll try.
Please. Yeah. Goodbye. Bye, Danielle.
Bye, Case.
Premium.